Kurt from the Sailing Vessel True Love. You're probably not getting a lot of sound or wind and sound. That is, we're in the midst of this northeaster to the northeast, and the boat's taking a beating. It's doing okay, but it's pretty rough out here. The winds have subsided a little bit, but now they're back up to a steady 25, 30 knots, gusting over 40. I just saw a 43 knot wind gust. In the midst of all this, we tore a spring line, a brand new spring line. So it shows you how bad it's been since yesterday. You can see how the line is ripped. That is where the winds are coming from. That's the northeast, and the harbor's it's rocky, but it's not horrible. But the winds are definitely blowing hard. That is looking out towards the ocean. And you can see, because it's a northeast winds on the other side of this dock, it really flattens out the water in the bay here. So it really isn't out there very, very rough. Difficult to see because it just looks like a gray sky. The bands of rain are coming in from this direction. It's a nor'easter. It acts kind of like a tropical storm, even though it's not. Bands of rain just circulate around the low pressure system, which is somewhere off of New Jersey, off the New Jersey coast, and it just keeps dumping rain over and over and over again. So we get the bands of light rain, and then it gets heavier, and then it gets lighter. And we're reaching the end of this, but as you can hear, the wind is blowing pretty hard. I think you can hear it in the background. The wind's blowing pretty hard. We are going to change some lines around and attempt to try to get the boat a little bit more comfortable, because it's pulling so much on the lines. I have 4 stern lines, so the stern lines look okay, but as you can hear, it's blowing quite hard. I'm hoping that you can hear me. This gale warning, or the wind advisory, is good until 12 p.m. It's now about 11:30, and I don't see any signs of it subsiding. So I don't know. They may have to extend that warning. Again, the window covers are on, protecting everything. One other issue we did have with the dinghy, which is now on the. I pulled it out with my friend's help. I pulled out the dinghy out of the water. We keep the boat on this platform here, and it must have gone into the dock and hit a barnacle or something like that, and obviously deflated. The boat also is deflated, so we were definitely in danger of losing the dinghy and losing the engine. So I pulled this boat out and left it on the dock. I tied it down in 3 different places, and it's looking like it's fine. It hasn't moved since we moved it onto the dock. As you can see, just looking at the boat, you can see that it's moving a lot, but it's not, it's generally not that violent a motion of the boat. If you're inside, you don't feel it too badly, unless you're prone to getting seasick. If you're prone to getting seasick, you're definitely getting seasick. But if you're used to being out here on the water in this kind of conditions, it's really not too terrible. Just hoping everything stays together. Getting the electric cord out of the water. Everything else looks okay. We're doing okay, and there's a lot of water, a lot of rain. I don't know how much rain we got, but it's significant. But this is supposed to get better as the day goes on, so we're hoping that it's going to at least the winds will die down a little bit. And again, it's so strange because out here it's like a lake. It's calm, and you wouldn't think anything of it, and that's because the winds are blowing in that direction. When the winds blow out of the west, which is what you're looking at right there, it gets really hairy in here. But when the wind blows out of the east, northeast, it gets very, very calm. So the dock is pretty calm. Many of the boats are already pulled out for the season, for the winter season. We are going to keep the boat on the water for a little while longer. Hopefully get another sail or 2 in before we have to call it a day and pull the boat out of the water. And I'm going to just finish changing some lines around and changing out a couple more lines just to make sure everything is good and ready to go. It's you're going to get these kinds of storms. But it's just something we deal with on the water, and you hope that it doesn't get too bad out here, any worse than this. And it was pretty bad last night. There was some pretty big 50-knot wind gusts and over last night, but everything held up well except for that one line. And we're going to change a couple more lines now.